Shalom Akim. Shalom Akim. Shalom Akim. Alright. First up, we're going to start by giving all praises, honors, and glories to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash. I want to give the honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who sought this 100% truth, according to the spirits that be Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Peace and blessing to you, hopeful elect out there pushing his word to the four corners of the earth in sincerity. And peace and blessing to you, hopeful believers out there, which are also a part of the elect here outside Shalom. And once again, I want to say, call Allah Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash, for giving me the spirit to do the lesson of today. Lord willing, to feed you lemon chiefs of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Now, as you see, the title is, man, as you see, it says to be called a faith-based Israelite is a compliment. And it is. To be called a faith-based Israelite is a compliment, man. And, you know, when you go into that word based, it means like foundation of something. So for your foundation to be faith, you an Israelite, you know what I'm saying, from the 12 tribes of Israel, so-called Black, Native American, Latino, for your base, for your foundation to be faith upon Yahweh Bahashem Shai is a compliment. Because as you read through it after scriptures, the ones that received salvation, the ones that the Lord took delight in, was the ones that had faith as a foundation, man. And then we're going to start off. And bear with me, Aki. You know, I'm trying to figure out this StreamYard myself. I'm trying to figure out how these sharing tab screen, how these windows go. I'm trying to figure this out. So, bear with me, Aki. Lord, and the music is not too loud in the background. Turn it down just a little bit. But we're going to go right here to Romans chapter 3. Let me fix that. We're going to go right here to Romans chapter 3. All right. This is Romans chapter 3. I'm trying to find a good spot. No, we just started this one. This is justification by faith. This is Romans chapter 3, verse 21. But now the righteousness of Yahweh Bahashem Shai without the law is manifested, being witnessed by the law and the prophets. Even the righteousness of Yahweh Bahashem Shai, which is by faith of Yahweh Shai Mashiach, unto all and upon all them that believe, for there is no difference. Exactly. So Yahweh Bahashem Shai's righteousness is having faith upon Yahweh Shai. In the eyes of the Lord, that's how you looked at as being righteous. You looked at as being righteous by having your faith upon Yahweh Shai. Not works of the law, not no, you know what I'm saying? You not know you're gonna receive salvation because you perform the law at the tippity top. No, you're gonna receive salvation by having faith upon Yahweh Shai. So for, you know, because I was just meditating upon it while I was reading that, you know, they call GMS faith-based Israelites. Their foundation is faith upon Yahweh Shai. Well, guess what? The ones that are going to get delivered are going to have faith as their base. They're going to have faith upon Yahweh Shai. And why? Because according to Yahweh, the Heavenly Father, his righteousness is having faith upon his Son, not works of the law. And it says it right here. It says, for there is, I'm reading 22, towards the end to 23, it says, for there is no difference, for all have sinned and come short of the glory of Yahweh Bahashem Shai. So the Lord is not judging us according to the law. You know what I'm saying? If he was judging us according to the law, no flesh would be saved. We all have sinned. We've all come short to his glory. So he's not judging us according to his law. He's judging us according to who the ones that have faith in Yahweh Bahashem Shai. And of course, if you have faith in Yahweh Basham Shah, that's going to be carried with action. Because having faith upon Yahweh Shah, it's going to be proven through your actions, man. You have people out there who claim they have faith in Yahweh Shah, but their works say otherwise. So having faith is going to be carried with action. But that's the righteousness. You know what I'm saying? That's righteous. You know, you got Proverbs 11:4. It says, righteous profit in the day of judgment. Well, guess what? The Lord said his righteousness is you having faith upon his son. So that's what's going to profit in the day of judgment. Right? Now, we're going to jump down to verse 27. It says, where is boasting? As a matter of fact, let's read 26. It says, to declare, I say at this time, nope, 25, whom God, Yahweh Basham Shah, has set forth to be a perpetuation through faith. Now let's get that word perpetuation. Let me see. Let's get that. It says hilisteron. It's in the Greek. G2 4 3 5. It says relating to it and appeasing or expeding, having placiding or expeding force, expiatory means of appeasing. Let me take that out. It says a means of appeasing or expediting, and let's get that right quick. Let's see. Appeasing. Look that up real quick. It says, I'm going to get it real quick and we're going to go back to it. It says pacify, or actually let me share this screen with y'all. Yeah, this is how we're going to be doing it. Until I get it down, just going to be going hand by hand, sharing the screen. Said appeasing or appease. Says pacify or placate someone by acceding to their demands. Says amendments have been added to appease local pressure groups. You know what I'm saying? And amend means to make right, pretty much. It says relieve or satisfy. So going back to that Romans 3, right? Going back to that Romans 3, let's get back to it. Yeah, going back to that Romans 3. It says relating to appeasing, which pretty much means like we had got, amend, you know what I'm saying? Amend, relieve, satisfy, you know, amend, relieve, satisfy. And it says use of a covered out ark, use of the Ark of the Covenant and Holy Holies, which are sprinkled with blood, expiatory victim on the annual Day of Atonement. See, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Appeasement, satisfaction. So let's go back to relieve and satisfy. So let's go back. Let's go back to it and let's read it again. Romans 3:25, whom God, Yahweh Basham Shah, set forth to be a perpetuation, relief, satisfaction through faith in his blood to declare his righteousness for the remission of sins that are passed through the forbearance of Yahweh Basham Shah. So what relieves or satisfy Yahweh Basham Shah is through having faith in the blood of Yahweh Shah to declare his righteousness. That pleases the Lord. And it says, now we can read 26. To declare, I say, at this time his righteousness, that he might be just, and the justifier of him which believed in Yahweh Shai. So you're gonna be just or made just believing in Yahweh Shai. Your foundation being your belief and faith in Yahweh Shai. So being a faith-based Israelite, being a faith-based Israelite is a very well compliment. Because they'll say that as in, how faith-based Israelite GMS, but guess what? The scriptures require the servants to have their faith upon Yahweh Shai. And that's how they're going to receive salvation. That's a characteristic of the elect, the chosen ones. They have faith upon Yahweh Shai. And it says, wherefore is boasting then? It is excluded, but it's like it is excluded by what law of works? Nay. So ain't no, we can't be boasting in the works, you know what I'm saying? The law, or any type of thing of that. No. You know what I'm saying? But it says, but by the law of faith. Therefore, we conclude that a man is justified by faith without deeds of the law. So we are justified through faith. Now, just because it said without deeds of the law, that don't mean that, oh, we don't do the law. You don't do the law. You know what I'm saying? You don't got to keep the law. No, it doesn't mean that. Yahshua say he can't fulfill the law. You know what I'm saying? Yahshua say he can't fulfill the law. So we still got to do the works of the law to the best of our ability. That goes into Judges 5:11. In the place of the drawing waters, which means in the place of our captivity, we shall rehearse the righteous acts. Well, what's the righteous acts? 2 Timothy 2. You know what I'm saying? The scriptures give my inspiration of Yahweh, which is profitable for doctrine, reproof, correction, and instruction on righteousness. So doing those things of the law, you know what I'm saying? Those are instruction on righteousness, which in these scriptures. So we do those to the best of our ability. But that's not going to be you keep the law, that's why I'm a savior. It's going to be the faith aspect of why those men and women will receive salvation and children. Because of their faith upon Yahweh Shai. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep going. It says, is he the God of the Jews only? Is he not also of the Gentiles? Yes, of the Gentiles also. Seeing it is one good, it is one power, Yahweh Shai, which shall justify the circumcision by faith and the uncircumcision through faith. You know what I'm saying? And the ones that are the ones that are under the circumcision, in that time period will be the Jews, the ones that knew about the Israelites, grew up knowing that they were Israelites. Because the Gentiles is speaking about here are the Hellenized Jake. That Hellenized Jake pretty much mean, they learned the way of the Greeks, which we was Hellenized here at one point before we came to understand it, because we didn't grow up some of us didn't grow up as Israelites. A lot of us did. We grew up thinking we was American, African American. We was Hellenized or Americanized Jake. But through having faith, you know what I'm saying? Through having faith upon Yahweh Shai, we could be justified. And it wasn't, some brothers wasn't physically circumcised. It was a circumcision in here. That brings me to this right here. That brings me to Romans 4. Actually, we could read. I want to get Romans 4. Then I'm going to get Romans 8. We're going to get Romans 4. We'll get Romans 4, then I'm going to get Romans 8. This is Romans 4. I want to pull this real quick. Because there's somebody that's similar in mind when you think about that. This is Romans 4:3. It says, for what saith the scripture? Abraham believed Yahweh Bahasham Shai, and it was counted unto him for righteousness. And you got to understand this. Abraham wasn't circumcised. He wasn't circumcised. You know what I'm saying? But through his faith upon Yahweh Shai, it was counted unto him righteousness. And you also got another example. When you read the book of Joshua, that second generation that entered into the promised land, they wasn't circumcised. Now, eventually they got circumcised through faith. But when they went into the promised land and received it, they wasn't circumcised. Because their faith in Yahweh Bahasham Shai was counted unto them for righteousness. Let's keep going. Now to him that worketh in the reward not reckoned of grace, but of debt. But to him that worketh not, but believeth on him that justify the ungodly, is faith his faith is counted for righteousness. Exactly. Now I'm going to read verse 4 again. It says, not to him that worketh in a reward, not reckon of grace, but of debt. You know what I'm saying? Because we in debt to Yahweh by Shema Shah. You know what I'm saying? But to him that worketh not, but believeth on him that justified the ungodly, who is that? Yahweh Shai, his face is counted for righteousness. So you believing on him that justified the ungodly, which is Yahweh Shai, his face is counted for the righteousness, which he speaks about. He came to deliver people from their sins. He come for not the whole, but the sick. You know what I'm saying? We'll be the ungodly. We're the sick ones. You know what I'm saying? And the elect had that mindset that they're sick. And they have faith upon Yahweh Shai. They are faith-based. Their foundation is faith upon Yahweh Shai. And those are the only ones that are going to receive salvation. Now, let me get to Romans 8. Because you have these people that talk about the law, and they be saying you're a faith-based Israelites. Well, you're just having a carnal mind behind it. You know what I'm saying? That's being carnally minded. Now we get to Romans 8. That's being carnally minded. This is Romans 8. This is Romans 8. We'll just get to the point. This is Romans 8 and 6. It says, for to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. Spiritually minded, carnally minded. What's being carnally minded? Focusing on the circumcision, or in better words, focusing on the law. That's carnally minded. Yeah, we do the works of the law to the best of our ability, but that's not how we're going to be saved. That's being carnally minded. You got to be spiritually minded. It's being circumcised in here. That's why you got Psalms 119. It says, Beth, wherewith shall a man cleanse his way? By taking heed unto the word. Through faith, he's taking heed unto the word, and he's being circumcised in the spirit. You know what I'm saying? He's not being physically, he didn't physically, you know what I'm saying, get circumcised in his area. You know what I'm saying? Cut off the foreskin. You know what I'm saying? And through faith, he'll go do it. You know what I'm saying? Through faith, he'll go do it. But it was in here. That's how the Gentiles were able, you know what I'm saying, to come into the faith. Will be able to receive salvation. Because we was once upon a time Hellenized. You know what I'm saying? But through faith, we came to the obedience of the scriptures. Faith upon who? Faith upon Yahweh Shah. But you have that, that circumcision in the mind and the spirit. And let me get this real quick before we finish it out. Before we jump to another one, because I got another scripture in mind. Before we jump to another one, I want to get this. I want to get this is Ephesians 5. Ephesians 5 and 25. It says, husband, now 26, that he might sanctify and cleanse it his way with the washing of water by the word. You know what I'm saying? Now, it's not talking about being, as I paraphrase Psalms 119, by with shall a man cleanse away, by taking heed unto the word. It says that he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word. So the washing of water, but the word is that water. Taking heed unto that, man. That's that circumcision in here. Because you have Israelites. See, because in that time period, you had the ones that was under the circumcision and the ones that wasn't under the circumcision. The ones that wasn't under the circumcision was them Gentiles. You know what I'm saying? They didn't grow up in the customs of the Israelites. The custom, you know what I'm saying? They didn't grow up in it. So they was saying, that they had the Sadducees and Pharisees. They was pretty much saying like, these dudes can't, they can't be servants of the Lord. And, you know what I'm saying? They can't just say nah. But according to Paul, he's expressing that it's through Yahweh, it's through having faith upon Yahweh Shah. It's not no keeping the law to the 100%. And if you ain't keeping the law to the 100%, you can't get saved. Is, you know what I'm saying? It's not, or keeping the law in general, to the fact of like you're condemning people about, oh, you're not keeping the law, you're not keeping the law, you're not keeping the law. Well, guess what? It's all dependent upon faith. It's not dependent upon, oh, who's the best law keeper. You could be the best law keeper, but without faith, it is null and void. You keeping the law for your own, so you could be seen as this righteous person, but really, you know, so you're supposed to be keeping the law going to you showing your faith upon Yahweh. Scripture speak about how faith is justified by works. You know what I'm saying? So do you having faith upon Yahweh Shai, it's going to be carried with works. It's going to be shown in your action that you have faith upon Yahweh Shai. But you have understanding that you're not going to be saved by those works, more so by your faith in Yahweh Shai Hamashiach. I'm going to pull this. I'm going to pull this. This is Luke 18 and verse 8. It says, I tell you that he will avenge them speedily, speaking about Yahweh Shai. When the Son of Man cometh, shall he find faith on the earth? And as we got in Romans chapter 3, that Yahweh Shai faith, Yahweh Shai, what appeases him, you know what I'm saying, is the faith upon Yahweh Shai. What is his righteousness? Yahweh Shai, his righteousness is you having your faith upon Yahweh. That's what's righteous in his eyes. Not, oh, you the best, because he said all have come short to the glory of Yahweh. So you break one law, be as you've never kept none of them. And you know, us being in this captivity, we do that. You know, us being in that captivity, we do that. You know, being under the captivity of this devil, pork in your clothes, is, you know what I'm saying, carcasses everywhere, you know, all this type of wickedness going on here, and adverse towards Yahweh Bashmal Shah, we've already come short to the glory. And we already come short just by being in these fleshly bodies, man. Because these bodies are subject to the law of sin. You know, but through having faith upon Yahweh Shah, we could be justified. And that'll be counted unto us as righteousness. As we read in Romans 4. Abraham, it was counted to him as righteousness, his faith. And this say nothing about him keeping the law. It said his faith. You know? Now I want to get this, because this is the scripture right here, Hebrews 11. It's just speaking strictly about faith. The book Hebrews 11. This is Hebrews 11. We just started 1. Now, Hebrews 11:1. Now, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. For by it the elders obtained a good report. Exactly. Through faith. Through faith, we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of Yahweh Bashmal Shah, which is Yahweh Shah. Exactly, because we wasn't there in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Lord willing, Lord willing, we be those men, part of the elect. We could have been there, but as far as here in this incarnation, we had no remembrance of that. So we don't know, we weren't there seeing it be formed. You know what I'm saying? Some of us could have been, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, through regeneration, reincarnation, we have no remembrance of that. But through faith, we understand that the worlds are framed by Yahweh Bashmal Shah, so that the things which are seen were not made of things which do appear. Exactly. And by faith, we believe that Yahweh Shah is amongst us. By faith, we believe that Yahweh exists. We ain't seen Yahweh, let alone seen Yahweh Shah in his incarnation. But through faith, we believe. Hebrews 11:4. By faith, Abel offered up Yahweh Bashmal Shah a more excellent sacrifice than Cain, by which he obtained witness that he was righteous. Yahweh Bashmal Shah testifying of his gifts, and by it he being dead yet speaketh. Right? Says Hebrews 11:5. By faith Enoch was translated that he should not see death. It was not found because Yahweh Bashmal Shah had translated him, for before his transition he had this testimony that he pleased Yahweh B'Hashemah Shah. So he had the testimony to please Yahweh B'Hashemah Shah. And that's going to having that faith. But I want you to take note. It's always saying faith. Hebrews 11:6. But without faith, it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to Yahweh B'Hashemah Shah must believe that he is, and that he is rewarded them to diligently seek him. So without faith, you can't please Yahweh. Without faith, you can't please Yahweh. It's by the law of faith, by believing upon Yahweh Shah, being faith-based Israelites, is how you're going to please Yahweh, because that is righteous is in his eyes. What's righteous in the eyes of the Heavenly Father is you having faith upon Yahweh Shah. And that's going to be carried with works, of course. You can be out here saying you got faith, but if you're not maneuvering and showing you got faith, then obviously you didn't have it. You know what I'm saying? And Hebrews 11:6 is really a good one, but I just want to look at these. I'm gonna look at these by faith, by faith, by faith. You know what I'm saying? Scroll down, through faith. You know what I'm saying? They all died in faith. So Hebrews 11:6 was really the nail right there. It was pretty much you can't please Yahweh without faith. So for y'all to make being called a faith-based Israelite a byword or a reproach or a derision, shows that y'all are without the understanding of Yahweh. It shows how y'all can't be the men of the Lord, because the men of the Lord, the elect, the ones that are going to receive salvation, they're going to have faith upon Yahweh Shah. Their foundation is going to be faith. So for you to make it a joke and a byword, you know what I'm saying, doesn't make sense. You proclaim that you know Yahweh Shah. You proclaim to be the servants of Yahweh Shah, but you shun faith. You know what I'm saying? You make faith, you belittle faith, when faith is the biggest part of this ministry. Without faith, you ain't receiving salvation. Point blank simple. It's just like a car. The car ain't moving unless it got gas. Well, guess what? That gas is faith. Without faith, you're not receiving salvation. All right, let me get this. I want to get this Luke. We ended off on this one. Let's see any more come to mind. This is Luke. Oh, snap. It's lucky. Bear with me out here. I'm trying to figure this out. I'm going to get it down, though. Lord's will. Yeah, Luke. I had it. No, I'm slacking. Matthew. Slacking, my bad. It's in Matthew. This is Matthew. And it's titled, this is Matthew 7, though. Matthew 7 is titled The Two Foundations. And it's also in Luke 6. But in Matthew 7:24. Therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings, Yahweh Shah speaking, therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them not, I will liken him unto a wise man which built. I will liken him unto a wise man which built his house upon a rock. Let me read that, because I think I read it wrong. Therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them, I will liken him unto a wise man which built his house upon a rock. So his base foundation of the house is the rock. And the only way you're going to do the sayings of Yahweh Shah is through faith, because you believe that he is the Son of Man. The reason Sadducees and Pharisees didn't want to listen to Yahweh Shah, because they wasn't for that, man. They was, we're not going for that. They didn't believe that Yahweh Shah was the Son of Man, and they didn't believe that Yahweh Shah, he was the way. They didn't believe that. So Yahweh Shah saying here that the ones that believe that I am the Son of Man and believe I'm the way, the truth, the light, and that you can't receive salvation but through me, believing upon me, they followed and did his sayings, because they believe that following, doing the sayings, following after Yahweh Shai, you know what I'm saying? They was going to get salvation. They believed that. It says, keep going. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew, and the beat upon the house. Now, the flood, the wind, the beat, that's the adversity. That's the calamities. That's the, you know what I'm saying? That's all the hardships, all the destruction. You know what I'm saying? We're in the time of Jacob's troubles. That wind that them angels hold back in Revelation 7 is finna get ready to blow. That destruction. There's only going to be certain houses. As a matter of fact, there's only going to be one house that stands in that day, and that's the house of David. Why? Because the house of David has their foundation, their base, faith upon who? Yahweh Shah. It says Matthew 7:25, and the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat upon that house, and it fell not, for it was founded upon a rock. That rock being Yahweh Shai. And everyone that heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them not shall be likened unto a foolish man which built his house upon sand. So you, I heard making jokes, and you know who you are, calling GMS faith-based Israelites. That's a compliment. We know who has the true doctrine of Yahweh Bashim Shai. First, GMS is the only one that really go into prophecy in the spirit of Yahweh Shai. The testimony of Yahweh Shai is the spirit of prophecy, and they're the only camp. And anybody that follows that doctrine of GMS, the teachings of GMS, they call them faith-based Israelites. Well, guess what? Yahweh Shai, and it's like Yahweh Bashim Shai, he's looking for faith-based Israelites. The ones that have faith upon him. Because the ones that have faith upon him, they're going to be in that house that's going to stand in that day of destruction, adversity. It's going to be kept from the second death. Read 26. It says, and everyone that heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them not shall be likened to a foolish man which built his house upon sand. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew, destruction, calamities, adversity, and beat upon the house, and it fell, and great was the fall of it. So that house fell, man, and great was it. But that house fell. It didn't stand. That house didn't get preserved. It didn't get salvation. It didn't get delivered from bad times. It fell. It got destroyed. But the house that had its foundation upon Yahweh Shai had its foundation based upon the faith in Yahweh Shai. That house stood and got salvation. And that's the house of David, man. That is the house of David. So yeah, Lord, hey. So right there, man. Say, Lord, willing, this is edifying to the parents of the Yahweh Shai. No, to be called a faith-based Israelite is a compliment, man. Because Yahweh Shai, if you pull the scriptures, Romans 8, Romans 3. Romans 3 really was just, Romans 3 told it all. We all have sinned and come short. The righteousness of Yahweh Shai is having faith upon his son. You got Luke 18. You know what I'm saying? When Yahweh Shai is looking back, and when Yahweh Shai comes back, he's coming back to bring judgment. You know what I'm saying? He's coming back to bring judgment. And the ones that have faith, they're going to be justified in that day to receive salvation. They have faith upon Yahweh Shai. Because you got ones that have faith upon Yahweh Shai. You got the ones that don't have faith upon Yahweh Shai. They have faith in other vain stuff. So to call us a faith-based Israelites, in other words, calling us Israelites that believe in Yahweh Shai, they have our faith in Yahweh Shai, y'all make it sound like it's a byword and it's foolish and it's to be belittled, but really that's to be held at the forefront of your ministry. Faith. Because that's the only way we're going to be saved, man. So Lord willing, this is edifying to the prime spirit of Yahweh Bahasham Shai. Feed you lemon of Yahweh Bahasham Shai. One about saying call Allah. Yahweh Bahasham Shai. Bahasham Kakwadash. I want to give double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who taught us this 100% truth. And to you, Alkium and Alkuath, I want to say Shalom. And have that faith. It's all about the faith, man.